So what is the advantage of a 4-port manifold like the Fieldman SMAN, this is the 480V, over a 3-port manifold? Well, one of the advantages are you could be pulling vacuum while your hose is either hooked up to nitrogen. So if you're doing a triple purge and flush, you can alternate between vacuum purge, and never disconnect your hoses and expose them to the atmosphere or having any if you're under vacuum. You could constantly be pulling vacuum while you have this hose switching over to refrigerant, like right here. I'm pulling a vacuum. I'm about to disconnect this hose that's hooked up to the nitrogen right there, and I'm going to hook it up to my refrigerant. It was under a vacuum and it was under pressure. This hose was kept under a positive pressure with dry nitrogen. This hose is dry. It's never been exposed to the atmosphere. When I take this hose off, dry nitrogen will come out of it, not negative vacuum. I will put it over to the port on the container here, and then I will close off the high side and low side ports. And by closing off the low and high side ports, I can open up the vacuum through the manifold and then evacuate out the line. I don't have to splurge refrigerant to the atmosphere every time, and I have to have clean, dry lines that were never exposed to the atmosphere. Don't waste any refrigerant. You know, everybody puts that little ounce of refrigerant to the air or whatever they do, but this is the advantage of having 4 ports. You never have to break your vacuum or your nitrogen, and you can alternate back and forth when you're doing your triple vac and a purge without taking off lines off and on if you only have 3 ports. So I'm about to fill up this dehumidifier that failed. I'm in the dark right now, so that's why it's not bright. I only have the camera from here, and I just have the light green lights because, as you can see, there's a lot of green growing here. And it's the night hour. You can't break the light. You can't have light in here. So I'm going to get this back up and running. You've seen this from the videos from a few days before, and that's about it, because this has to get back up and running. That's all. That's plain and simple. There's not a second redundant unit inside here when it comes to dehumidification, and this is a brand new unit. It's only like 1-2 weeks old, and it failed. And it failed from vibration. This little line here vibrating because of the way that they have their line suspended in the air. It's a big long line going up and down. It's just dangling in the middle. So the vibration of the compressor gets an oscillation starting to move, and that little port right there, that little line just shakes back and forth, and it just busts away from the thing. Just a manufacturing defect in their design. And that's it. All right, I'm gonna fill it up now. That's all, guys. Just explaining one of the benefits of having a 4-port manifold over a 3-port manifold. Yes, it's a little bigger, but it has advantages.